Welcome to the Fox Squadron review of the Hot Shots and Aces reinforcement pack for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. This review is coming out real late, but that's due to supply side issues from my local game store. Their distributor is being weird, to say the least. So I got a copy from Amazon, and we'll get another copy from the game store later for a very important reason. I'll share in a bit. This pack contains 5 new unique pilots for each of the 7 factions in the game currently. No upgrades, however, but I think that's fine. I think the pilots will be enough for each of the factions. So before we jump in to look at the pilots, I do want to point out a couple cool and bad things with the expansion. So first off, you get this poster with the pack, which I guess is cool. Really just the box art, but cool I guess. Creative way to show the production team, and posters are always fun to hang up on the wall. Second, each pilot card has its normal pilot side, but the back is now a large version of that pilot's art, no longer the faction of that ship. And I think that is really cool and adds a nice touch to the cards. And plus you have the artist's name too, which altogether adds a layer of gratitude for the art that was made for the game, and honestly I think it's just really cool. And finally, the complaint. So the ship's cardboard in this expansion are terrible, to say the least. So normally pilots of a ship will have a generic pilot or another unique pilot of that same ship, same faction, on the other flip side of the base. This time, each pilot has another pilot of a different ship and faction on the flip side. This just, honestly really just confuses me. Obviously, if you play all 7 factions, you'll be mostly fine. Really, storing the bases will be the only difficulty, because do I put my X-Wing / TIE pilot with other X-Wing pilots, or the TIE pilots? The main reason why it's weird to me is because it's different to normal. Obviously, people are biased against change usually, including myself. So you can't really split the pack anymore with other players, which was the plan me and my local group had. We all only play like 1 or 2 factions, so we're just going to split the pack up. We can't really do that anymore because the bases just aren't even split up intuitively between the factions. I'll get into that in a bit, but yeah, I just think it's weird, to be honest. It's very funky, and just I don't think quality-wise that's the best. And it's not a mistake on AMG's part. It's very intentional because other packs have this as well. It's not just a misprint. So yeah, I don't know what to think about it. But anyways, with the bases, you've got First Order pilots with Vulture Droid pilots on the back, a First Order pilot with an Imperial pilot on the back, and another First Order pilot with a Rebel pilot on the back, and a Republic pilot with a First Order pilot on the back. And that just doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you have the First Order pilots with the Imperial pilots? Like, I know there's more Separatist pilots than Republic pilots, so you could easily put like the Resistance and Republic pilots together on all their small bases with the Scum pilots, and that would work. So I don't know why they just didn't do that. Interestingly, the Scum pilots, 4 of them actually have black bases on the other side of their base, so they're actually fine in this expansion. You don't have any worries about Scum, except for Dr. Afro, of course, but 4 to 5 is not bad. It's pretty good actually. But yeah, I just they could have printed an extra 3 sheets of cardboard, and that would have been just as fine. I mean, I guess it does save the money though. I mean, when you think about it, 3 extra sheets of cardboard for each pack for 1,000,000 packs probably does save them at least, like, I don't know, $100,000 maybe. I don't know how much it takes to print out these little cardboard things. Maybe a little bit of money, maybe like 1 cent, I don't know. It's just weird. I hope they don't do it again. It's not a good sign, seeing with all the Star Wars Legion malfunctions on their product side, and now X-Wing's getting a little bit of that, but it's intentional for X-Wing, it seems. So that's it's not a great sign for AMG games. Anyways, this is the first video review of this expansion. There's 6 other videos. Each video goes through a different faction. I want to keep the videos a little bit shorter. There is a playlist icon on the top right of the screen. You can click now to just view the whole playlist and click on the faction you want to see, as well as you can click on the playlist at the end of this video if you don't want to click on that now. So with nothing further ado, let's jump right into it with our Rebel Alliance pilots. Starting off with a Y-Wing pilot, it's Pops Crail, Gold 5, and he has Initiative 3. After you fully execute a white maneuver, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, it may perform a focus action. So, he's only 4 squad points, so that's pretty good, and he's got a loadout value of 16 points, and his upgrade bar is a talent slot, a turret slot, a torpedo, a bomb slot, a missile slot, an astromech slot, and a modification upgrade slot. So he's got one of everything. You can put a lot of different stuff on him if you want to. As a support engine for passing other friendly ships' focuses, he's not really the best option. First 4 squad points, you can take Dutch Vander, who can acquire a lock and then give a friendly ship a target lock, who's initiative 4, or Jake Farrell, who can give himself a focus and a friendly ship a focus, or 2 friendly ships a focus. And he's obviously squad 4 squad points as well, and you can take a proton rocket. So as a support engine, just with the white maneuvers, it's not going to be easy to line up a range 1 with a white maneuver very easily. It would be easier if he could do a 1-4-1 bank as well, but he can't. So, however, this ability applies to himself. So if you do it too hard with Pop's Krail can focus himself and then acquire a target lock. So I think that's the real interesting part about his ability. He can focus target lock for a proton torpedo strike or just a really good ion cannon turret at range 1. And that's, I think, really where he's going to shine well, is being able to make those really good shots. And yeah, for those of you that didn't know, this is the pilot alongside Dutch Vander that was in the Death Star trench run. He's the guy that said, "Stay on target." Yeah, very cool bit of lore there, and yeah, pretty okay pilot. He's not terrible. Moving on to our A-Wing pilots, hitting it off is Kyo Venzi, Auspicious Ace, at Initiative 3. If you have no active force after you reveal a bank or turn maneuver, you may increase the difficulty of the maneuver. If you do, perform that maneuver as a side slip and recover 1 force. And she obviously has 1 force charge on her card. So in order to use her ability, you're going to have to spin a force during her attack or defense in order to be able to do a bank maneuver and then recover your force. The problem is she is increasing the difficulty of her maneuver, so you can't focus boost and then in that turn where you still have that stress token, spin your force and then use her maneuver next turn. You could, but you'd still be stressed. Could honestly blindside an opponent, so yeah, I guess it could work. Overall, she seems pretty good. Her loadout value is 8 points and she comes in at 3 squad points, so you can actually give her some pretty good stuff. Her upgrade bar gives her a talent and missile upgrade slot with the configuration upgrade, of course. So proton rockets, I think, is the most obvious choice, though you could do crack shot with concussion missiles maybe. I don't know, I think proton rockets will probably be her favorite upgrade. And for those of you that don't know, this is actually the pilot from Star Wars Squadrons who flew the A-Wing in the campaign, so it's really cool to see that she's in the game now. And I think we will see her meta-wise. At 3 squad points, she's definitely very good. Not as good as Aaron Kraken is right now, but she's definitely, I think, second place in that lineup of 3-point ships. So yeah, probably. The next A-Wing pilot is a fan favorite returning back from 1.0, Taicho Selchu, I think is how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. Son of Alderaan, coming in at Initiative 5. While you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you may perform actions even while stressed. So he's basically got the same ability last time where he could perform actions even while he's stressed, only now there's a limit to the amount of stress tokens he can have, which I think is good. Prevents him from being too overpowered. But anyways, his loadout value is 14, and his upgrades are 2 talent slots, 1 cannon slot, 1 missile slot, and 1 configuration upgrade slot. So you can definitely give him some very interesting upgrades. And his squad points value is 4, so he's only 4 points put on the table, and you've got a pretty, with a cannon and a missile, you got a pretty heavily armed A-Wing. You can barrel roll to reposition for a heavy laser cannon shot, or you can focus boost to reposition for that. So heavy laser cannon with proton rockets is only 12 points. You put on composure and marksmanship or starboard slash, whatever 1-point upgrade you want in that situation. Because the idea with composure, and this came from me from a guy that flies A-Wings, that's flying this guy a lot right now actually, is you focus, wait no, hang on, sorry. You do a target lock, and then you use your ship ability to perform a boost. You fail the boost action, so then you get to perform your focus action. Now because the boost is a red, technically the A-Wing wouldn't be allowed to do the focus, but because this pilot lets you perform focuses while you're stressed, well, perform actions while you're stressed, composure works and lets you do the focus. After you use composure though, you can't perform any other actions, so it has to very specifically be target lock, boost, gain a stress, ignore stress with Taicho's ability to do the composure focus. So that gives you a focus target lock for a proton rocket or a heavy laser cannon. So yeah, Taicho is going to be very strong with that, I think. I mean, obviously it relies on him getting a bullseye arc, which may not happen every time, but he certainly seems to be a very strong A-Wing, and it's honestly just good to see him back in the game. I'm really glad they brought him back. Obviously the Rogue Squadron, one of the Rogue Squadron pilot favorites. And yeah, just really good to see him back in the game. Finally, moving on from the A-Wings, we have our first X-Wing pilot, Wes Jansen, Wisecracking Wingman. At Initiative 5, his pilot ability, after you perform an attack, you may spend 1 charge to assign the defender 1 jam token. After you defend, you may spend 1 charge to assign the defender 1 jam token. He has 1 charge that's reoccurring, so you can do this once every round, which is very cool. At Initiative 5, he's very strong too, I think. It's basically the same ability he had before. Initiative 5 being equivalent to Initiative 8, he's the same essentially. It's great to see him back in the game as well. And Wes Jansen's obviously like Wedge's best friend in Star Wars Rebels and just normal Star Wars Legends or canon lore. And anyways, he comes in with 15 points for his loadout value. He has a talent slot, a torpedo slot, a modification slot, an astromech slot, and of course the configuration slot for the Supermotor S foils upgrade that all X-Wings love to equip. And he actually has only 5 squad points, which I think is fair. Obviously Wedge and Luke are much better pilots. At 5 squad points, he is pretty much better than all the other Rebel equivalents. I think the only other one that's at least 5 initiative is Thane Kyrell, and his ability is decent-ish. You spin an eyeball or a hit or a crit to expose a damage card. It's nothing too special, but not too bad either. A lot of value-wise, though, he has 1 point over Thane Kyrell, so he basically just replaces him. Unless you want to fly both of them together, that's only 10 squad points, and that's 2 X-Wings and torpedoes, so that could definitely hurt. But yeah, it's great to see him back. It's going to be annoying dealing with a Jam guy. Jam is especially popular in the meta right now with heavy ordnance lists and also just like aces that token stack. So yeah, I think he's gonna be really good for Rebel ordnance squads from here on in, and also just in general a really cool pilot. Rounding off our Rebel pilots, and our last X-Wing pilot is a pilot that, for all the Rogue Squadron fans out there, has been a long time coming. He's been in the game before, but he's not been in the X-Wing yet. It's Corran Horn, Rogue 9. He's coming in at Initiative 5, and his pilot ability is after you declare the defender of an attack. If you have a lock on the defender, a friendly ship may transfer their lock token from you to the defender. So, really great to see Corran again in the game, but in the X-Wing this time. I read the Rogue Squadron, I think the first novel, so it's great to see him in the X-Wing finally. That's super cool. The E-Wing is still restricted from standard play, tournament play, but it is available in, I believe, the extended mode, which is just kind of normal, anything goes. So, yeah, in the E-Wing, Corran's alright. 6 squad points is pretty hefty for him. He probably would just be better off taking Wedge or Luke. But in the X-Wing, he's only 5 squad points. He's actually got a loadout value of 18 points. So, again, just like Wes Jansen, another pilot that essentially replaces all of the other X-Wing pilots that are already currently in the game. And his upgrades are actually really good. He's got a talent upgrade, a torpedo upgrade, an astromech upgrade, and the configuration upgrade. So you can proton torpedoes on him, R3 astromech, and then a 2-point EPT easily. And obviously his ability is very strong for ordnance lists. He shoots at someone with his proton torpedo before he rolls his dice and spins his target lock to reroll dice. A friendly ship transfers their lock from him to that enemy ship. So it's basically Dutch Vander, but instead of Dutch constantly giving target locks with action, Corran Horn's over here giving the target lock once, and maybe after that if they get another target lock on him, or maybe not. It depends. I think his ability is really good. It definitely sets you up for a good round 1 torpedo strike. From then on, though, it's going to be kind of difficult to use his ability to get like focused target lock to your other guy. But no, a very strong X-Wing, and only at 5 squad points. Obviously, Wes Jansen, Thane Kyrell, Corran Horn. Another 5-point torpedo X-Wing would be Wedge Antilles, coming in at 5 initiative, might as well. Or Garvin Drives, or any other X-Wing pilots. 4 X-Wings, as you probably have seen on my YouTube channel in the last 3 gameplays, is very strong. And to have all those guys be at 5 initiative with even better pilot abilities, that might be a meta list, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it is. But Corran Horn in general is really good for Rebels. I've seen him on the table. Yeah, he's really good. I haven't played against him, but seeing him on the table against other players, he's really good. He's really good. And yeah, I think the lineup for Rebels was really good for this expansion. We got 2 returning pilots, 2 pilots that have long awaited to be in the game in the ships that they're in now, and 1 pilot that's really cool to see in the game. So yeah, I think Rebels really banged out with this pack in potentially have the best pilots in the faction. I don't know. Rebel Ordnance strike teams are very, very dangerous, and the fact that we just got like 3 new pilots that complement that is just scary. Just scary, man. Anyways, that'll be the end of this video. Our next part of the review process will be looking at all the Galactic Empire pilots and seeing how well they look, and then after that, the rest of the faction. So I hope you guys enjoyed. May the Force be with you. Good luck, and get rock and rolling.